Welcome to Elon Local News, Elon's news leader.
Here are some of the stories we're covering.
It may have poured this weekend, but the Triad is still abnormally dry. What it means for Elon's water usage coming up.
Living right next door, we spoke with one family who has a closer connection to Elon than just location.
And making history. One Elon athlete ran his way into the record books this weekend.
Your campus, your news, all those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Thanks for joining us here at Elon Local News. I'm Meredith Stutz.
And I'm Justin Beagle. The 2014 midterm elections are one day away, and although early voting has ended, most across the country head to the polls tomorrow morning.
Voting here in Alamance County begins at 6:30 tomorrow morning and ends at 7:30 tomorrow night. We begin with election updates, and our Katie Merrigy is here to break it all down for you. Katie.
Just about 12 hours away from polls opening, and if you're voting here in Elon, here are the races you should be following. First up, the Senate. Republican Tom Tillis and Democrat Kay Hagan are neck and neck for the seat. Rasmussen's most recent reports show Hagan polling at 47% and Tillis close behind at 46%. Up next in Congress, the 6th District, home to Elon, has Laura Field as the Democrat and Mark Walker as the Republican. As Howard Coble, the current representative, will not run for re-election for what would be his 16th term. This is the first time the spot has been open since 1985. And finally, there are a number of local positions around Alamance County that will be filled tomorrow night. Elections for North Carolina Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, and School Board will be decided tomorrow. If you're looking to vote tomorrow, there's a polling site right across the street from Danley Commons at the First Baptist Church of Elon, and one at the Elon Fire Station, Department Number 2. A shuttle will run to and from this station from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Students can be picked up and dropped off at the McMichael lot. For live coverage of the campaigns, tune in tomorrow night right here at Elon Local News. Polls close at 7:30 and we'll be on the air with Rajat Agarwal and Ashley Boley, anchoring from 8 to 10 p.m., bringing you all the updates. Now, with North Carolina's Senate seat up in the air, let's look at who the competition is. Tom Tillis, the Republican, has run a campaign pushing for conservative reform in Washington. Tillis has called out Democratic incumbent Kay Hagan for voting with President Obama 95% of the time, according to the Congressional Quarterly. This Republican is strongly opposed to the Affordable Care Act and repeatedly reminds voters that Hagan voted in favor of the law. He also calls for lower taxes and less regulation, claiming that government needs to get out of the way for businesses to grow. He's attracted a lot of support from high-profile leaders, including Texas Governor Rick Perry, North Carolina Senator Richard Burr, and 2012 GOP presidential nominee Mitt Romney, all of whom Tillis rallied with in the weeks leading up to tomorrow's election. For the Democrats, Kay Hagan is running against Tillis for re-election. She's been in office since 2008 when she defeated Republican Elizabeth Dole. Opposite of her component, Hagan believes in the Affordable Care Act and many of the policies of President Obama. Since she was elected in 2008, Hagan has stood behind improving environmental policies and improving education in North Carolina. Hagan has even received support from the Obama administration as well as former President Bill Clinton.
ELN has partnered with the Pendulum for election coverage. Joining us now to talk about their recently published voter guide is Editor-in-Chief Jonathan Black and Managing Editor Katie Canada. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's get started. Let's talk about this voter guide. What is something that students should know about Kay Hagan? Because that's the big race we're looking at now is Tom Tillis and Kay Hagan.
Well, the Tillis campaign has been really vocal about how Hagan has voted with Obama on 96% of issues. So that's something where she might run into some trouble in North Carolina. So we're really interested to see how the votes stack up.
And then let's talk about Hagan. What is something that students should know about her campaign?
Well, for students in particular, she's really vocal about women's rights and equal pay and also rights to reproductive facilities and birth control.
And then finally, what else should students know about your election guide?
I think our election guide did a good job of profiling all the local candidates running in the district, both for the U.S. House of Representatives and the North Carolina House of Representatives. And we also did a nice little piece on Howard Coble, who's retiring after serving for 30 years in office.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate it. The Pendulum will be back tomorrow morning to join us on ELN Morning, as well as joining us tomorrow night for our election show that starts at 8 p.m.
North Carolina's weather has been a little weird lately, from pouring rain and the chill this weekend to the sunshine and warm temperatures today. All right, Gary Grumbeck is live at Lake Marynell with an update on the Phoenix 5-day forecast. Gary?
Thanks, Justin and Meredith. That's right. I'm here in Chiliac Plaza overlooking Lake Marynell, which, if you noticed this weekend, was a little full due to the rain on Friday night into Saturday morning. Weather across the state has been crazy, with snow up in the mountains of Boone, North Carolina, and rain here, and November has only just begun. The weather at Elon this weekend was drastically different from last week's sunny temperatures. Yesterday's high was only 52 degrees, and then out of nowhere, it was warm outside, hitting a high of 65. Out here right now, it's 54 degrees. Tomorrow, the weather stays nice. It's going to be sunny, mixing with clouds in the afternoon. As you head to your morning classes, you'll be wanting to wear some warmer clothing, but it's expected to hit a high of 70 by mid-afternoon. Hump Day does stay pretty with a high of 70 and a low of 55. Wednesday will be a great opportunity for you to take a walk around Lake Marynell or jump in a pile of leaves or both. But nice weather will change quickly later in the week and we'll go right back to the cold. We'll be in the mostly sunny, the highs are in the 50s, overnight lows are going to be in the 30s. Reporting live from Lake Marynell, Gary Grumbeck, Elon Local News. Justin, Meredith, back to you.
Thank you, Gary. There may have been a lot of rain this weekend, but according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the Triad has seen 30% less rainfall than normal and listed the area as abnormally dry on the drought monitor. With Elon being in that affected region, our Preston Willett found out how the conditions could affect our campus.
Bonneville Fountain, one of the most well-known sounds on Elon's campus, could be at risk of quieting down due to recent drought conditions in the Triad. But the drought does not have everyone on campus worried.
Elon University in Alamance County, we're not doing anything. It's the lowest level of a drought condition, so for Alamance County, it's volunteer. There's no restrictions on the use.
Robert Buchholz is the director of physical plant in charge of water usage on campus. He says with most of the campus's water coming from Lake Marynell and Lake Verona, there isn't reason to worry.
Not with this type of drought conditions. If it got to be severe and they told us that we needed to cut back, then there's a plan that we would cut back.
While there isn't much concern at this point for conserving water, Buchholz believes students should still be cautious and do their part, like turning off the faucet.
Your faucets in your room and your showers are dripping. That's always something that we would like to get also a call in from Fix-It so that we can get over there and take care of that. It's a waste of water that way, and we work pretty hard to make sure that those type of things are not occurring.
A lack of water may not be an issue, but Buchholz says the area's dry conditions could bring other problems.
And I think the biggest condition at this time of year with the drought is it's so dry outside. If somebody's having fires, there's a good chance that it may spread.
So even with the drought affecting the area, students can expect to hear this a little longer. Preston Willett, Elon Local News.
Physical Plant says that they are constantly trying to save water. 80% of the water used for irrigation comes from well water and rainwater, while vacuums placed in the fountains help to save more than 180,000 gallons per year.
North Carolinians can breathe a sigh of relief. Preliminary results have come back negative from a patient who was admitted last night to Duke University Hospital with possible signs of Ebola. The Department of Health and Human Services says that additional testing will occur in the next couple days to confirm that the patient is Ebola-free. Our Eric Halpern is at Duke University Hospital with more.
Thank you, Meredith. The patient, a North Carolina man, returned home to Person County on Sunday morning after traveling to Liberia. It was then that doctors said he developed a 101.9 fever. He then was taken right here behind me to Duke University Hospital, where he is still being monitored. But as Elon students, there is no need to worry. According to doctors who I was in on a press conference with earlier this afternoon, the patient no longer has a fever and is no longer showing any symptoms of Ebola. He was also not contagious when he was doing any of his traveling, so they're not monitoring people that he may have come in contact with. And like Dr. Arsenal from the health center told us a couple weeks ago on Elon Local News, in order to get Ebola, you have to be in direct contact with bodily fluids of someone who has the virus. So on Wednesday, they're going to test the patient again. Results from that test will be available later that day. From Duke University Hospital, I'm Eric Halpern, Elon Local News. Meredith and Justin, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. Back here at Elon, Alamance Regional Medical Center received a low diagnosis from the Leapfrog Group, a national nonprofit that conducts safety scores for more than 2,000 hospitals. Alamance Regional Medical Center received below average scores on 10 different measures, including not using correct antibiotics before surgery, taking steps to prevent blood clots, and having enough staff to prevent safety problems. Overall, Leapfrog gave ARMC a D for patient safety in the report. This dropped from a C in Leapfrog's spring report.
Coming up on Elon Local News, we talked to two students who are bringing a Big Apple-inspired blog to Elon.
And we'll take you into one Elon community member's home and their connection to some of Elon's most well-known buildings.
Domestic violence is the topic tonight for the first Community Connections of the year, sponsored by the Burlington Times News and Elon University. The event will be held in McKinnon Hall in Moseley from 7 to 8:15 tonight. In a Elon poll earlier this year, 9 out of 10 people said that domestic violence is, quote, very important or important concern to Alamance County. The event will consist of a panel conversation with the audience and is free and open to the public. Elon Local News will be live tweeting the event.
On your way to Mill Point along South Williamson Avenue, you might walk by a big white house on your right. It's been around for more than 100 years, and the family inside has lived there since it's been built. Elizabeth Bilka takes a look into the home and the family and their many ties to Elon.
On the outside, it may look like any other home, but this house has been a part of Joe McAdams Grimley's family and a part of Elon for more than 100 years.
This house was built by my grandfather. Yes. And they built it in the very early 1900s. I think they finished it about 1904. And so once they finished this house, they moved into this house.
While this house has a lot of history of its own, the family has close ties to an iconic building that is a part of Elon's history.
My granddad was the contractor for West Dormitory. So when the building was about completed, my granddad decided that it would be fun for my dad to lay the last brick.
But that's not the only Elon building they have a close connection to.
Then when they did the groundbreaking for McMichael Science Center, he dug the first shovel for McMichael.
The McAdams family helped build the university from the ground up, but they also took a part of Elon home with them.
There was a bell that they used to ring for the people to date for 10 minutes. And so the proctor would ring the bell, they could date for 10 minutes, and had to come back in.
But she says her mom wanted to spend more than just 10 minutes with her dad.
And so she had one of her friends swipe the bell after the bell was rung to start the date, so that it would have to go more than 10 minutes because they couldn't find the bell. Well, they could have gotten kicked out of school, and so they hid the bell.
After their plan to hide it was successful, her mom knew that the bell could not stay there.
But then they were afraid that the person that took it would really be in trouble if they found out she took it. So they hid the bell until you could get it off campus. But the funny thing is that my mom would never tell us who took the bell.
Elizabeth Bilka, Elon Local News.
It's the blog that made everyone want to visit the Big Apple, Humans of New York. And 2 first-year students at Elon have brought the concept to campus. Our Audrey Coates spoke with the students behind Humans of Elon.
Ben Driscoll and Mercedes Ken aren't your typical first-year students. They are the minds behind the new Facebook and Instagram page, Humans of Elon University.
Just to make sure you actually kind of get to know that person that you see every day, that you may not actually take that initiative to say hi to.
Inspired by Humans of New York, a blog that showcases New Yorkers and their stories, Ben and Mercedes love getting to know unique people all over campus that they otherwise wouldn't get the opportunity to meet.
The point is so that we showcase the great people that we have here. People get to know them better.
We see so many faces that we don't want to, or that we don't know, and you don't know what's behind that face. So everyone has a story to tell, and we're just trying to bring that to the surface.
Elon may not be as big as New York City, but Ben and Mercedes believe that everyone has a unique story.
And when we take the pictures of them, we try to ask them questions to get to know them, like deeper questions like, what is your greatest source of happiness right now? Or like a quote that really inspires you.
So far, the Facebook page has 716 likes, and the Instagram page has 212 followers. Ben and Mercedes say they're just doing it all for fun.
We just want to share this with the student body. It's not like really we're trying to get anything out of it for us. So it's just great that it's actually being really receptive.
Audrey Coates, Elon Local News.
When you're filling up your tank this week, you might notice a nice drop in prices. Our Megan Huffman is here with the gas price breakdown in this week's Pump Patrol. Megan.
Thanks, guys. In the last couple of weeks, gas has fallen just below $3 a gallon, so filling up your car is now a little less painful on your wallet. The cheapest gas close to campus is $2.86 a gallon at Citgo on Huffman Mill Road, followed by $2.89 at the BP on Haggard Avenue, and $2.89 at the Shell on South Church Street. Elon's political science professor, Kenneth Fernandez, says the recent drop in gas prices is a result of supply and demand. He says it's unlikely the prices will continue to drop and predicts prices leveling off about $3 a gallon, although he admits no one can know for sure. That's your Pump Patrol for the week. I'm Megan Huffman. Now back to you, Meredith and Justin.
Thanks, Megan. Coming up on Elon Local News.
When we come back, we'll find out why some students are growing out of their mustaches for a cause. Welcome back to Elon Local News. Our Dion Buck is here with what's new in the tech world. Dion, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Apple released OS X Yosemite a few weeks ago in October. But why do you need to know about it now? Well, there are some features in the new update that you might not realize came with a download. Let me walk you through it. If you're not too technology savvy, you might not know the update connects OS X and iOS 8, meaning all of your Apple devices can work together. For example, with the update, your Mac can send and receive calls and SMS text messages. Also, the new handoff feature allows you to start a function on one Apple device, like an email or a search on Safari, and finish it on another. And finally, my favorite feature on the new update is being able to block conversations on iMessaging. Got someone who you just won't leave you alone? Well, just click the conversation window on your iMac and turn on Do Not Disturb. That's your tech update for this week. Meredith and Justin, back to you.
Thanks, Dion. Certainly going to keep those tips in mind. You might see some furry faces around campus this month, and this time we're not talking about animals. Our Lexi Hervo spoke with one student who is trying to raise awareness with his facial hair.
So some of our ideas this year to really make this year special and kind of make it a huge impact.
Elon Jr., Will Kelly, and his fraternity brothers want to make a difference. They're all participating in No Shave November for the 4th year in a row.
Putting down your razor for the month of November, so you're basically a walking advertisement.
By not using this shaving cream and razor, they're trying to do more than just raise money.
It's all the effort we're putting in. It's kind of, I guess, leading by example in a sense, showing people that just a group of guys can get together, have a passion for doing something and really make an impact on their community.
Their goal this year is to raise $20,000 for prostate cancer awareness. Participants create a Movember page, post it to social media, and can receive donations directly on the site.
We're trying to just get other people to jump on board with the idea and just join Movember individually or create their own team.
And though it may not be the most glamorous,
it's going to be looking pretty ugly, but it's like people see that guy on campus and they say, hey, he's doing it to raise awareness, raise money.
They are happy to be helping a greater cause.
I continue it, no matter if it's you have 5 best friends who have family members going through it or nobody at the time, because there are so many people that are being affected by it, whether we know it or not.
Lexi Hervo, Elon Local News.
This year's goal of $20,000 is not far from what they've raised in the past. In 2011, they raised $22,000, and in 2012, they raised $18,000. And if you'd like to grow out your beard for the cause, you can sign up on the Movember website at us.movember.com.
Senior cross-country runner Luis Vargas made history this weekend, becoming the first Phoenix CAA champion in cross-country. I met up with Vargas earlier today to find out more about his winning race.
Luis Vargas is fast, very fast. And Saturday, this senior cross-country runner blew away the competition all the way to a CAA title. Humbled by his victory, Vargas hasn't forgotten about the people who have supported him along the way.
I mean, it's an honor, but at the same time, you know, it's a team aspect, and, you know, my team supporting me, Elon supporting me, you know, that's the reason I was able to claim that title.
Vargas purposely hung back with the competition for the first 2 miles until they received the green light from head coach Nick Polk. After that, he never looked back.
It was, you know, right after I pulled away, I realized no one was coming with me. I guess at that point it was just, being mentally strong.
Vargas finished with a time of 24 minutes, 11 seconds, nearly a whole minute ahead of the next competitor. After crossing the finish line, he thought of the one person who had always believed in him.
My mom, for sure. She and my dad are definitely my biggest fans. And, I wish they could have came out to see my race there, but, it is up in Boston. But I know, they were cheering me on, back home, and, they're the people that I know will always be there for me.
With a victory, Vargas completed a perfect fall season, winning all 5 invitational events, something he couldn't picture doing anywhere else.
Running has brought me here, to Elon, has taken me a long way. But, without the donors, without Elon in general, I wouldn't be here.
When his running career finally comes to an end, Vargas hopes his legacy at Elon paves the way for future runners.
To set a bar, a higher standard for this program, so that kids coming from high school have something to look forward to. They see that something great has happened here.
When we come back, more in sports. We'll find out where Elon Soccer is playing in the CAA tournament, and then basketball is back in Alumni Gym. I'm Andrew Feather, and I'll see you after the break. Elon men's soccer needed a win on Sunday to lock up the #1 seed and home field advantage for the CAA tournament. The opponent standing in their way, the Delaware Blue Hens. Delaware scored 2 first-half goals, leading the Phoenix to fight for its life in the second half. Elon battled back with a Delaware own goal in the 62nd minute, but the Blue Hens' defense was too much for the Phoenix. With the loss, Elon drops to the 4th seed headed into the CAA tournament play and will host #5 seed Northeastern at Rudd Field on November 8th in the quarterfinal matchup at 7 p.m. Women's basketball is back in, or had an exhibition game on Sunday. We will see how their season is going to look out. Here's a preview now. After a run to the Southern Conference semifinals last March, several things have changed for the Elon women's basketball team. Gone is all-conference guard Kelsey Harris, who graduated in May. And biggest of all, gone is the SoCon, as the Phoenix completed a move into the Colonial Athletic Association this summer. Projected to finish 6th in the 10-member league, the Phoenix said they're excited for the new challenge, but also ready to surprise the competition.
Something new, exciting. My senior year, I'm just trying to have fun, go out with a bang. And what better way to do that than to upset some people in the CAA?
Playing a key role for the team this year will be the group of incoming freshmen, which includes Southern Alamance graduate Shea Burnett, 6'3" center Malaya Johnson, and guard Emily Sasser.
I think it's awesome if you would have saw them the first day of practice till now, especially Shea, Malaya, Emily Sasser. They've all just stepped up, really grasped everything that coach is talking about, so it's awesome.
With only 3 seniors, Elon will be looking towards its younger players to step up and be leaders on the floor, something head coach Charlotte Smith believes won't be a problem.
We have leadership, we tell everybody, it doesn't matter what year you are, whether or not you have a title as a captain, everybody's a leader in some capacity. So we're trying to get everyone to become leaders.
And as for what the team needs to improve on to be successful this year?
Defense, I feel like we're very talented offensively. We got some players that can create and score and make things happen. Our offense is ahead of our defense, and I think once we become a lot more solid in our defense, I think that will take this team to the next level.
That's all we have for sports today. Now back to Justin and Meredith.
Thank you, Andrew. That's all the time we have for you tonight, but tune in tomorrow during college coffee time for ELN Morning.
If you haven't already done so, go ahead and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Elon Local News.
For all the news that you need to know this week, stay up to date on our website, elonlocalnews.com. Have a great week, Elon.